Good morning, 10th graders. I hope that your quiz was not too challenging for you. I hope that you had ample study time and all that and did well. We are just about done with birds. We have one last section to go through, and it's a pretty quick one. Uh, Today, we're just going to introduce it because I'm sure there's probably not too much time left, and I'll take care of the rest tomorrow. Just a brief introduction to the different types of birds that we have. And I did this one a little bit differently. In amphibians, fish and amphibians and reptiles, we talked about specific scientific classification family groups. And that exists for birds, of course. But particularly with birds, your chances of actually being interested in uh, learning more about birds and looking at birds is I would say greater than a lot of these other groups. And so I organized it a little differently so that it would coincide with the way that field guides for birds are created. So field guides for birds do have the scientific name in them, but they're more concerned with general groupings with similar characteristics, right? Rather than uh, super close genetic or physiological characteristics, right? So these major bird groups are going to align fairly closely with the major bird groups that are the way bird field guides are organized. Okay, so I'll just briefly highlight them here and give you a quick example, and then tomorrow we will go into a little bit more detail in each of these groups. There are another reason I'm doing it this way is because there are 40 different orders of birds, right? There's a lot of them. There's a lot of these scientific classifications, and so that seemed a bit of a tall order, especially right here at the end of the year. Okay, so the non-technical study of birds splits them into seven groupings. The birds of prey, these are your kites, your hawks, your eagles, your owls, and even your vultures. Even though vultures scavenge, they are considered birds of prey. The perching birds, also sometimes called the songbirds, are the birds that you probably think of when you hear the word bird, right? Your cardinals, your blue jays. This is a Baltimore Oriole. Um, or excuse me, not a Baltimore Oriole. That's a team. This is a Northern Oriole. And Yeah, there's some specific characteristics, we'll talk about them tomorrow, that make them a perching bird, but the birds that you hear chirping and tweeting, in the trees, those are perching birds. Game birds, here that's a quail, a bobwhite quail to be particular. But They're called game birds because they're good to eat, and so people hunt them. But they are all ground-dwelling birds. Not that they can't fly, but they prefer to walk and run. So turkeys would be in this group. Grouse would be in this group. Although I'm not sure you probably know what a grouse is, but still, there's a couple different. A number of different types of birds in this group, largely terrestrial and good to eat. Chickens are descended from game birds. We have domesticated them uh, from game birds. Wading birds like great blue herons, sandhill cranes, those types of birds with the long legs. We talked about the wading legs the other day, and so wading birds are going to have wading legs. Also, usually a long neck to help them reach down to where those long legs are going into the water. Migratory waterfowl. Okay, so there's two parts to this name, right? The migratory part, migratory means that they do not stay, at least as a generality, they do not stay in one place. They spend different parts of their lives in different areas. Waterfowl, they live around bodies of water and get their food from them. That particular picture there is of a wood duck. They're kind of cool. I don't. I'll just tell you about them real briefly. We have them here in Florida as well as other places, of course. But they're called wood ducks because unlike most ducks, they nest up in holes in trees. preferably trees that are waterlogged, meaning that the tree is surrounded by water. So, say an area has flooded, the water killed the tree, and a hole develops in it for various reasons. Maybe a woodpecker is after insects or something. But anyway, these wood ducks, they find uh, they find those holes and they build nests in them. And then uh, once the eggs hatch, the babies have to hop out of the hole and fall down however many feet to the bottom of the tree. And that's how it's how the babies learn how to fend for themselves. They have to hop out of this tree. And because these aren't perching birds, right? So the way the wood ducks uh, get into that hole is they basically crash into the hole in the tree. They and then they do a little somersault to break their momentum. It's really kind of funny. But anyway, if you're interested, just YouTube wood ducks landing or whatever, and you'll see all sorts of funny videos. Seabirds, your seagulls, your cormorants, your gannets. This is a blue-footed booby. They literally are blue-footed. You can see there in that picture. Although not year-round, I think that's a display thing that happens during the breeding season. And then the flightless birds. That there is a kiwi, not the kiwi you eat, of course. I hope not, because they're like endangered and you could get in big trouble for it. But not the fruit at any rate. And we're using him as a representative of the flightless birds. So your ostriches, your emus, etc., etc. Again, we'll go over these categories in much greater detail tomorrow, but this is just your introduction to them. All right. I hope that you have a good day, and I will see you very soon. Bye.